Welcome to the St. Vrain Sports Report. We are glad to have you along with us. We've got a good show for you this week, including an Athlete of the Week feature on a football player from Frederick High School, the undefeated Warriors, that is. We're going to preview state golf, as well as looking at big events in football and other sports coming up later on this week. But first off, we have highlights. Let's get right to it, starting with some volleyball and a big, long-time rivalry, Frederick at Erie. Warriors coming in at 9-2, Erie at 7-4. Both these teams playing very well this season. Erie with the serve early on, and it is Kinley Linhart for the Warriors from the back row almost with the kill, taking that perfect set and putting it down for a point. She had a team-high 12 kills. Warriors led Lonnie Purcell going for the kill, but Erie's there for the block, and eventually Parker Patzer puts it down for the kill, one of her 4 on the night. Good volley here before Erie's Kate Sebesta hammered it home for the kill to finish off the game win. She had a team-high 12 kills on the night in this match. And it's Peyton Michelson for the Tigers. She's going for the kill. But a great dig by the Warriors. Ashlyn Grant Miller keeps it alive before Lily Kurtz finished off the point right there for the Tigers. That's Jillian Ridgely serving for the Warriors. And it's Sebesta once again coming through with the kill. She had a great night for the Tigers in this one. More defense from the Tigers, who they're going to take this serve after that game win. They're up 2-0 at that point, by the way. They take that serve and set up for Michelson for the kill. And then it's match point for the Tigers. And the final serve for Frederick goes deep. Erie with an impressive 3-0 sweep. And they followed that up with a 3-0 win against Meade earlier this week. Skyline at Longmont in football. Falcons coming in at 1-2, looking to snap a 2-game losing streak, while Longmont was 2-1, riding a 2-game win streak. Fourth play of the game, Trojans quarterback Sage Yazzie bobbles the snap. He's unable to get it back. Senior Will Drews picks it up and goes 75 yards for the Falcons touchdown. He also had 15 tackles in this game, one of the better defensive players in this area and in all of Class 4A. Will Drews with a great touchdown right there. Yazzie back to pass. He's picked off by Nick Peterson, who returned the ball to near the Longmont 20-yard line. And Skyline's defense was just tremendous in this game, forcing turnovers and making some big plays all night long. That would set up Mike McCrolla for the 16-yard touchdown run. McCrolla with 112 yards on 19 carries on the ground, leading that Skyline offense in this game. And freshman Fryn Torello added a 20-yard touchdown run for the Falcons. They led 21-0 after the first quarter. Just kind of a shocking score, the way these two teams have played the first 3 weeks, and the fact that Longmont won last year's game in a shootout. Second half, Yazzie looking for something for the Trojans offense, but he's picked off again, this time Andrew Salance off the tip. 3 interceptions thrown by Yazzie, who was exceptional in the first 3 games of the season. Falcons had a touchdown pass from Chase Silva to Austin Robinson. Skyline with 232 rushing yards and held Longmont to 100 yards in total offense. Falcons' first win over Longmont since 1989. Boys soccer, Longmont at Skyline. Falcons just 2-4. Longmont came in at 2-5. Skyline putting some pressure on the Longmont goal early, but this shot goes high of the net. Then it's Joe Murtaugh. He has a shot that rolls just to the left of the net there. Game stays scoreless at 0-0. Gabriel Sosa with a great move on his defender, and he hits a laser, but Longmont keeper Connor Taylor makes a great save. Longmont with a chance here, but Skyline's defense able to clear it and avoid that threat right there from the Trojans. Sosa with a great run down the right side and some nice footwork to get the crossing pass, but the shot for the Falcons goes wide, and the game stays scoreless once again. Finally, with about 19 minutes left to play, freshman Jake Cook controls a pass from Sosa and punches it home with the lone goal of the day for the Skyline victory, and the first goal of the freshman's career for Skyline. So a nice way for him to start his goal-scoring career. Hopefully many more for him. I'm sure he'll never forget his first one, coming in a big win against the rival Longmont Trojans. A couple of the notables from this past week in boys golf. Frederick on the boys team plays second overall in Class 4A Region 3 and over in Fort Lupton. For the first time in school history, they will send their entire golf team of 4 to the state tournament, We'll talk about that here in a few minutes. They were just one stroke back of Steamboat Springs, so really had a shot to win that tournament. Nick Formby of the Warriors, 2 over par, 75. He was 2nd overall, and Ben Harding of Silver Creek, 3rd overall at 5 over par in that tournament. Football in the rankings, Class 3A, Meade, number 2. Frederick is up to number 6, and Erie at number 9. In boys soccer 4A rankings, Silver Creek is at number 5. In softball 4A, Erie number 4, Silver Creek number 6, and Meade, unranked last week, they are now at number 9 in the Class 4A rankings. And in 3A, Lions is at number 8 overall, or in the rankings. In volleyball, Class 4A, Meade is number 3, and Erie is at number 8. Those rankings came out before Erie upset the Mavericks earlier this week, so those rankings might change next week, but we got 2 top 10 teams right there in Class 4A. Now let's take a look at the Week 5 football scores from last week, starting with that stunning Skyline upset, or not really upset, but shutout of Longmont. Just a stunning 34-point win there. Erie back on track, 35-7 over Canyon City. That snapped a 2-game losing streak for Erie. Look at Frederick score, 72-0. Warriors now 4-0 for the first time since 2006 when they started 5-0. Jake Green, the quarterback, 5 for 6, 86 yards, 4 touchdowns. 4 players ran for touchdowns, including Brandon Hornby with 2 of them. Mountain View, 31-24 in triple overtime over Silver Creek. Raptors fall to 3-1 with their first loss of the year. And Lions falls to Yuma, 49-12. They are still looking for that first victory of the season. So we mentioned Frederick, and they're off to a 4-0 start for the first time in a long time. And Jake Green, the quarterback, only threw 6 passes the other night, completes 5 of them, 4 of them for touchdowns. He's having a really good year. He's completed 20 passes in 4 games, not a whole lot, but 7 of them for touchdowns, 312 yards. He's playing some great football. He's also leading the team in rushing, one of the top rushers in the conference. And he didn't run the ball a whole lot last year, but this year he is. The Warriors are putting more on his plate. 533 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns. He also was the 2nd leading scorer on the basketball team last year with 14.2 points per game, and he is our athlete of the week.
It's been a lot of fun this year, going into my senior year, just doing a lot of things that are different. Obviously we're winning, that's fun, doing lots of things with the team. It's a great experience. I'm just happy to be a part of it. It's a really supportive atmosphere. The school's all a part of it. Everyone wants to be there, and everyone supports one another. There's no one that's negative. Everyone just wants us to do our best, and everyone wants us to reach our goals. Well, we put in a lot of plays because we all worked hard in the off season. I worked hard, in the weight room and stuff, and gained some weight. So it makes it a lot easier to be a part of our offense and do more things. So we put in a couple plays, and clearly they're working, and then maybe it opens up stuff for the other backs and opens up stuff for the pass game. So it lets people know that I'm also I can do things in the game. Yeah, I'm enjoying that for sure. I'm just having a lot of fun, helping the team win. I'll do whatever it takes or whatever it takes to win. Basketball's a good time too. I like running up and down the court. We do a lot of pressing and stuff, so I guess I can just be a leader on the court and on the football field. My dad got me started in 2nd grade, or younger for that, for other sports like baseball and basketball, but football I really started tackle in 2nd grade, and I guess I've liked it ever since. And I really started out as a running back, and then finally started playing quarterback in 8th grade. I guess ex-athletes at Frederick High School that I looked up to when I was a young kid that looks up to us. So I looked up to the seniors and the football players that were here when I was in 6th grade and growing up. This team can be really good. We have a lot of potential. I can see it in our backs and our line. Everybody works hard. And as long as we stay together, because we have a lot of chemistry, we've played together since we were growing up, so I believe that we have unlimited potential and we can make a run this year for sure. Right now I don't know what I'm going to do, but I have been in contact with a couple of coaches, and hopefully I can go and play at the next level.
Jake Green playing some great football for Frederick, and I want to thank him for the time to do that interview. And boy, that Frederick team, 4-0 so far. They've got a Littleton team this week that they should be able to beat to start off 5-0. If that team stays focused and doesn't get too caught up in some of the hype going on around them, if they just stay focused on the game at hand, that team's going to win a lot of football games and possibly make a deep run in the playoffs. Might be the deepest Frederick team I've seen in my 15 years covering the schools up here. So that team, watch out for Frederick. They're going to be a lot of fun to watch. Let's take a look at the football scores or the games coming up later on this week, including that Frederick matchup. But on Thursday night, we kick things off locally. Meade at Erie, that will be a big one. And Holy Family at Skyline on Thursday night as well. On Friday night, Frederick at Littleton, Longmont at Silver Creek, that'll be a big one. And Strasburg at Lyons will be on Friday night as well. And then on Saturday, Eagle Valley is at Niwot over at the stadium, a 1 p.m. game. So some big games, and the biggest one of those is going to be that Meade at Erie game, I believe. Longmont at Silver Creek will be big as well. We want to highlight that Meade at Erie game, however. Those two teams have been two of the best teams in the area the last several years. Let's take a look at that matchup. The Meade Mavericks coming in, playing some great football. Thursday at 7 p.m. at Meade High School, and Meade coming in 4-0, Erie at 2-2, and you see the points per game there. Now Erie obviously struggled for a couple of weeks, so some of their numbers are down, but Meade just playing fantastic. They're beating everybody by an average of 30 points right now, and Erie back on track last week with that big win against Kansas City. Now look out for a couple of guys down below. Meade, the quarterback Brady Valtine, doesn't throw the ball a whole lot, even less than Jake Green, who we mentioned has 20 completions in 4 games. Brady Valtine, 17 completions in 4 games, 8 touchdowns. Mason Vive, the Erie running back, averaging over 100 yards per game. He's doing a great job for the Tigers there. That's going to be a great game later on this week, as well as that Friday night game, Longmont against Silver Creek. So a couple of big ones coming up later on this week. State golf will be early next week, Monday and Tuesday. Let's take a look at that because that's our overall matchup or our contest of the week. Let's take a look at next Monday and Tuesday. Bridges Country Club in Montrose, 10 local qualifiers, and here is the list. You see 4 Frederick Warriors there. First time in state in their school history that they have qualified an entire team for state. 3 of these guys are seniors, and then there's the sophomore Jake Chesler, who last year as a freshman placed 7th overall at the state tournament. So they've got a pretty good shot to maybe go in and contend for a top 10 spot. There's only 13 teams that qualified around the state. They might be able to push for even higher than top 10, maybe a top 5. But Colton Gabbard, Frederick, one of the seniors there. Nick Formby was the runner-up at regionals. Brandon Caffarelli of Erie, the junior, he was 13th at regionals last week. Adam Gannon of Longmont, a junior, 10th at regionals, 3rd time going to state for him. Christopher Gunlickson of Niwot, the sophomore, was 12th at regionals. Ben Harding, a freshman for Silver Creek, has done a great job. He was 3rd at regionals last week. Garrett Stansel, a returning state qualifier, was 9th at regionals. And then John Reed of Skyline, 14th at regionals last week. So lots of local qualifiers there. Watch out for that Frederick team. Frederick, they're doing fantastic in football, volleyball, and boys golf. So doing some great things over at Frederick. But that golf team has a real shot to go out and do something really special down at Montrose next week. Other events coming up this week, starting with some cross country. The Tri-Valley League Championship, speaking of Frederick, will be out at Bella Rosa Golf Course in Frederick next Monday afternoon. And I believe that's actually Tuesday. That's a misprint there. That should be a Tuesday, but at Bella Rosa Golf Course. Boys soccer, Fort Morgan at Skyline on Monday at 4 o'clock. In softball, the annual matchup, Frederick at Erie. Those two teams play twice every year. They will play at Erie High School on Thursday afternoon at 4 o'clock. Softball, Skyline at Meade at Saturday at 11. And then one other one in volleyball, Holy Family at Skyline. That'll be a good one on Thursday night at 6:30 p.m. So lots of big events coming up later on this week and early next week, starting with that boys golf state tournament next week down in Montrose. We want to thank Blaine Robinson and Don Gurton for all the behind-the-scenes work they do on this show, as well as Blaine and Tim Ellis for all the video they get for us. Check out bocopreps.com and the Longmont Times Call. They will get you up to date on everything going on in high school sports in the area. Also, like us on Facebook. Check us out on the web at longmontchannel.com, where you can watch this or any other programs you like here on Channel 8. And as always, we want to thank you for watching. We look forward to seeing you again next week.